You pick up your phone, you type, haha, okay, and you hit send. Half a second later, on the other side of an entire ocean, it arrives. You don't think about it. You've already put the phone down. But what just happened in that half a second is one of the most insane things human beings have ever built. And almost nobody has any idea it's happening. So let's follow your little message on its actual journey, and I promise you, by the end, you will never look at the word sent the same way again. Let's start with the lie you've been told your whole life. You probably picture your text flying through the air, invisibly, like magic, from your phone straight to your friend's phone. Wireless, floating through the sky. That picture is almost completely wrong. The wireless part of your text message is tiny. It's practically the least impressive part of the whole trip. Here's what really happens. When you hit send, your phone turns your message into a burst of radio waves and throws it a short distance through the air to the nearest cell tower. That's it. That's the entire wireless journey. A few hundred meters, maybe a couple of kilometers, to a tower you've probably walked past 1,000 times without noticing. After that, the wireless magic is over and the real journey begins. Because that cell tower is not floating in the sky. It is bolted to the ground, and running down out of it into the dirt is a cable. Your message has just been yanked out of the air and shoved into a wire. And from this moment on, your wireless text is going to spend almost its entire life as a physical thing, racing through solid cables buried under your feet. So follow it down. Your message leaves the tower and dives underground into a bundle of cables. And very quickly, it stops being electricity and becomes something even stranger. It becomes light. This is the part that should genuinely stop you. The moment your message hits the real network, it gets converted into pulses of light, tiny flashes flickering on and off billions of times a second, and it gets fired down a thread of pure glass, not metal, glass. A strand of impossibly clear glass, thinner than a single human hair. That's what a fiber optic cable is. Your haha okay is now a beam of light, ricocheting down a glass tunnel, bouncing along the inside walls, traveling at nearly the speed of light itself. And it's flying through a hidden world you never think about. Underneath your city, underneath the streets and buildings, there is a vast, tangled skeleton of these glass cables. They run under the roads. They follow the train tracks. They snake between buildings and up through the walls. A whole invisible nervous system of glowing glass, humming with the light of billions of messages and photos and videos, all at once, right beneath your shoes. But your friend isn't in your city. Your friend is in another country, across the sea. So how does a beam of light get across an entire ocean? Now we arrive at the single most incredible fact in this whole story, the one almost nobody knows. Your message goes under the ocean, not over it, not bounced off a satellite in space, under it, down on the cold, black, crushing floor of the sea, because lying on the bottom of the world's oceans, right now, is a web of cables. Hundreds of them, stretching for hundreds of thousands of kilometers across the seabed, connecting every continent to every other continent. These undersea cables are the true, physical backbone of the entire internet. Let that sink in for a second. When you send a message overseas, it does not usually go up to a satellite. It goes down. It plunges to the ocean floor and sprints across the literal bottom of the sea, past shipwrecks, past mountain ranges no human has ever seen, through the darkest, most remote places on the entire planet. The cloud isn't in the sky. The cloud is at the bottom of the ocean. And here's what gets me. These cables, these lifelines carrying almost all the information of human civilization between continents, are surprisingly small. Out in the deep ocean, a cable carrying the conversations of millions of people can be about as thin as a garden hose. A skinny little tube, lying alone in the dark, thousands of kilometers long, holding threads of glass at its core. Think about how absurd that is. Nearly every overseas message, every video call to family on the other side of the world, every bank transfer between countries, every photo, almost all of it, squeezed through a handful of hose-thin cables resting silently on the ocean floor. If you could somehow stand down there in the dark and watch one, you'd see nothing. No glow, no sound, no hint at all that inside that quiet little tube, the entire conversation of the human race is rushing past you at the speed of light. Getting them down there is a story all by itself. Special ships, cable-laying ships, spend months at sea slowly unspooling these cables off the back, gently lowering them all the way down to the seabed, laying them across the ocean floor foot by foot, over trenches and cliffs and everything in between. It's one of the most patient, difficult jobs on Earth, and it has been going on quietly for over 150 years. And down there, life is dangerous for a cable. Ships drop anchors that slice right through them. Underwater landslides bury them. And yes, this really happens. Sharks sometimes bite them, apparently attracted to the faint electrical field, chewing on the thing carrying your text message. When a cable breaks, a repair ship has to sail out, find the exact spot in the middle of a vast ocean, and haul the broken cable up from kilometers below, splice it back together, and lower it back down. Also, your messages keep flowing. So picture the real journey now. Your haha okay leaves your thumb, flies a few meters to a tower, drops into a cable, turns into light, races under your city, reaches the coast, and then plunges into the ocean. It streaks across the pitch-black bottom of the sea as a flash of light inside a hair-thin strand of glass, boosted along the way by devices that catch the fading light and blast it forward again, keeping it strong across thousands of kilometers of darkness. It crosses the entire ocean, and it does it in a fraction of a second. Then it reaches the far shore. It shoots up out of the water at a quiet little building on the coast called a landing station, the place where the mighty ocean cable meets the land. From there, it jumps back into the cables under your friend's city, races through their streets, reaches the cell tower nearest to them, and for the final few meters, and only the final few meters, it turns back into radio waves and leaps through the air to land in your friend's pocket. Their phone buzzes. Ha ha ha, okay. And they, just like you, feel absolutely nothing. No wonder, no awe. They don't picture the ocean or the glass or the light or the sharks or the ships. They just glance at it and keep walking. And the truly wild part is how fast all of that happened. Not in a minute, not in 10 seconds. In a fraction of a single second, your message left your hand, crossed an entire ocean, and landed in someone's pocket on another continent. It moved so fast that if it had taken a whole 2 seconds, you'd have been annoyed. You'd have stared at the screen and thought, why is this so slow? You would feel impatient at a machine that just fired your thoughts under the sea and around the curve of the planet quicker than you could blink. But wait, because it's even crazier than that. Your message didn't travel as one neat little package. The instant you hit send, it was chopped up into tiny pieces called packets. And those packets don't necessarily travel together, they can scatter, each one taking its own separate path across the network. Some may be going one way, some another, racing across the world by different routes, and then all arriving and reassembling themselves in the perfect order at the other end, in the blink of an eye, so your friend sees a clean, haha okay, instead of a jumbled mess. There is a system out there so unbelievably well organized that it can shred your words, scatter them across the planet, and stitch them back together faster than you can lift your thumb. And this is all happening constantly, for everyone, all at once. Right now, as you watch this, beams of light carrying billions of messages are screaming through glass threads under your city and across the bottom of every ocean on Earth. A planet wrapped in invisible, glowing wires, all humming with human thoughts, every second of every day, and almost nobody ever thinks about it. We built a nervous system for the entire planet. We melted sand into glass so pure you could see through kilometers of it. We turned words into light. We sent ships across every ocean to lay cables on the floor of the sea, in the crushing dark, and we wired up all 7 continents so that any 2 people, anywhere, could reach each other instantly. It is arguably the most complex and connected machine our species has ever created, and it works so perfectly, so invisibly, that you completely forget it exists. So the next time you send a text, take just 1 second, because what actually happens is this. Your words become a beam of light, dive under an ocean, sprint across the bottom of the sea, past shipwrecks and sharks and total darkness, climb out on another continent, and arrive before you've even lowered your arm. And you use it to send the word LOL.